Welcome back to yet another fabulous, wonderful, splendid and inspiring series of XCOM2 War of the Chosen. We're playing the impossible mode where we can't win. It is so much. Four-man squad. It is ballistic weapons only. It's twice the enemy hit points and permanent dark events. We are about to sabotage and secure this disabled UFO, which is an optional mission, mind you. We have acquired the scrubs of the scrubs, like the really easy units, the ones that no one wanted, and we're going to go into a mission with them. Couple of things that you should know about UFOs, specifically landed ones. They are amongst the hardest missions that exist in XCOM, so I'm expecting that we're getting our asses handed to us big times. The main priority is Zircon is not allowed to die. The others could be collateral damage. It depends. I really want to try to go for an aggressive push. This could net us some alien alloys and a lot of Elerium if we're successful. So if we can pull this one here off, it would actually be extremely beneficial. Now, with that being said, in between us being successful and swimming in Elerium and alien alloys, this game has put a couple of enemies. Moderate means about 12 to 14 enemies. And here's the kicker that you should know of all of the UFO missions. UFOs tend to have a higher enemy rating than your normal missions. So they take enemies of one level higher than your current campaign status. What that means is the latest enemies that we've seen were max, and I am concerned because if we're unlucky, we might end up getting mutants, which would be a really, really painful exercise. Mutants would have 2 armor and a shit ton of hit points probably, plus they do have a very strong melee attack and a grenade. We can't really bypass their armor because our Grenadier is not well enough equipped. She doesn't even have Shredder. And yeah, I mean, look at that. I just mentioned it could be a mutant, and there we go. 22 hit points. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Seriously? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it in any shape or form. If we're being caught out of position, okay? If for whatever reason we're triggering the 2 packs at the same time, this here is a mission where we might as well hit the evac button right away, because we are not going to stand a chance against 2 packs. 1 pack, maybe, with the right level of preparation and some decent engage, I can see how that is going to work. We do have the high ground, they don't. We could really work with our Dragonova and her engage, but by all means, if we're being spotted out, then this here is over. Now, one of the things I just mentioned, 2 packs are way too much and you should never do it. One of the things that really would motivate me, though, is to hit both of the mutants with a nice little claymore and effectively force them into removing all of their armor. So one skill would yield us the full benefit of getting rid of all of their armor. But I'm not going to do it because triggering 2 packs is just, it's insane. Trying to spot out if we're finding additional enemies. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so these guys are like wobbling down there. So we're not in a hurry, and I don't want to lose this campaign based on a stupid decision. Which means we're going to get into a very solid full cover mode. It's kind of the fuck you mode. We are waiting for them to like circle around. Easy peasy. And for whatever reason, I mean, they are now clustering up. This would be such a nice grenade. Wow. If we wouldn't have grenade falloff damage, it would probably be one of the most worthwhile grenades that I've ever thrown. Anyways, so let's explore some more. I told you it's a moderate difficult mission. So that means we're most likely going to see a fourth pack. And since Dragonova has the scouting ability, which reveals the enemies even after we've scouted them, this should be kind of straightforward. I just want to have all of the enemies revealed. And then we should be fine. Let's move in. So we're opening the doors just to get some line of sight here, really. These guys are moving away, which is fine. We're closing the doors again, because if the patrol is really on the outside and once we get in, I want to make sure that we minimize our chances of being spotted out. And next up, we're going to get into that central room. Or maybe we're going to help down here with a proper grenade. Claymore mine, rather. But yeah, Claymore would be helpful. So these guys here seem to completely freeze. Let's move up here. This is going to spot them out. Also, as long as Dragonova is hidden, this prevents them from moving up here. Now, if both of these units are being forced to stay there, then the next natural question would be, can we position ourselves like here and here? Well, where once we trigger the first pick, they would run into our Overwatch. And the answer is probably yes. Up here would still trigger all of them. Also this here. We need to have a position where only one of the packs can be seen. Which is probably somewhere alongside here. So we're getting into position. If they really start to stand there. Oh, now they move. Perfect, perfect. I'll take a very short bio. I don't feel well. Be right back. Only a minute. Alright, back. Sorry for that. Once the camera is rolling, I really can't turn it back. So we would have a pretty solid positioning if we effectively would use this here as our starting point. My main concern is we shouldn't trigger these guys here, so maybe we're just going to play it safe. One of the things that's definitely not triggering is a grenade. Or claymore.
Placing explosive.
This will put them into a state where they are already engaged and pulled, but not all of them will move. So some of them will just stand there, not knowing what to do. Okay, that was a solid pull. I mean, this guy's almost dead. These two here are injured. And I would just say we're going to play it cool from here.
I'm all over it. Good to go.
If these guys begin to make a larger surge, we're ready. But probably they are just going to stand wherever they currently are. As you can see, I want to make sure that we're not going to engage this team here. These here are definitely engaged now. So they will try to stick together. And they are officially being triggered. So if we were to trigger them in their round, they wouldn't follow the normal rules of just moving once. They could even overwatch. Okay, so that's fine.
I go where you tell me.
Let's reload.
Eyes on the prize.
We still need to make sure that we really only get one of the two patrols. At the moment, the timer hasn't started, so it was just a claymore explosion, and these guys are severely injured. The mutant has lost all of his armor, which is perfect, so if we ever will get him into a good position where everyone can shoot him, there is even a high likelihood that he's completely going to go down. He has a trooper with him, easy prey, and basically this demolisher with 7 hit points, reasonably easy to kill, like Wesley. Okay, so this pack here is more serious. We do have a stun lancer in there, which usually means we do have an issue. Unfortunately, we don't have a sniper within our group. That's the only thing really missing. We kind of bank onto the fact that they are going to move now, which I'm not sure if they are going to do that. If they aren't, we can just attack the pack up here. So the ones that are standing here on high ground. It's a weird spot to have one pack triggered and the other ones just waiting. Issue with attacking these guys is they would be triggered, and once they know where we are, they would be allowed to join the fight. So that's why I actually don't want to trigger them. We could use sneak tactics and just get into the room, like literally here, but I feel that's a bad idea. The high ground here is valuable, and we shouldn't just give that up for for nothing. Currently the timer hasn't really started. Let's see if one of the packs is moving. If nothing happens, we need to motor. All right, these guys seem to not care at all.
I'll be there soon. Let's do this. Stepping off. On it.
So all of a sudden, they move. By the way, also typical phenomena. If you played XCOM for a longer time, you will know once you get closer to them, they will start to move. The second claymore here could have been extremely handy in this specific circumstance, like triggering this pack here as well would have been super helpful. What we can do is we can just fully overwatch, which basically would allow us to trigger the pack and have a damage advantage against them.
Reapers are always vigilant.
I think we're going to do that.
Understood. Moving out. Affirmative. Covering now. Got it covered.
Alrighty, so if they move into us, if we're really going to be spotted out, one of them is going to have a bad time. And that one person is going to be the Stun Lancer. Spotted, flanked enemy, revealed, Stun Lancer and Mutant. Well, hello there.
They got me flanked!
So this pack here, luckily for us, not moving. They just move around a bit, but do not seem to trigger. Maybe we have bugged them, which would be exactly what we would, what we want. There's the timer, which is fine. Now I guess the $1 million question here is, how do we deal with these guys down here? We could probably kill the Stun Lancer and shred the Mutant at the same time. This here should do the trick. It's going to remove one armor from the Mutant, and it might kill the Stun Lancer completely. Very good. I don't care about the loot at the moment. I'm just trying to barely survive. That's sweet survival.
Position confirmed.
Let's try to get this guy. Nah, unfortunately not successful. I don't even want to go into this direction. Problem of moving here is it's too close, so the Mutant is most likely going to use his grenade. Problem of moving to here is shotgun is not going to hit. Problem of moving here obviously is way too aggressive. Problem of moving back here, this here would be a flanking position, but half cover and pretty close to these guys, so we could trigger the other pack, which, Lord and behold, we don't want. This cover here would actually be not too bad, but I fear it is a prime spot for any sort of grenade. What we could do is we're putting Dragonova over here. And if we position over here, that's only half cover, but this half cover is far enough away to not trigger a grenade, so this guy can't just move up and basically grenade our position. This here, however, could be a pretty solid crit. If we're playing our cards right, this guy could even die. Come on. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Good job, Sirkin. Good fucking job.
Your service.
So now for the retaliation. This is going to hurt. Solid miss. I love it. These guys here start to get all anxious and amped up, which is fine. Take your time, guys. Do whatever the F you want. This would be so easy if we were having a shredder, but we're not. So the question is, are we going to deal with the remaining armor, or are we not going to put up with that crap? And I guess the answer is we're going to shred him, because I really, 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 really don't like armor. Matter of fact, for our run, armor is probably the worst thing that could happen, and we, going forward, need to find a way of how to deal with it. I want to use blue screen rounds, mainly, so they would take care of the armor problem. But it's difficult. So there we go, fully shredded. We can now start to take this guy apart. I would say we still keep our flashbang for the next pack. We are unlucky. We're taking 8 protocol here. So since we can't kill him, I'm not sure if we should remove our cover for fighting this guy, or if the right play would be to just go in and first and foremost clear the beacon. I think with 13 rounds we're going to be fine regardless, so I'm almost tempted to move into cover and help with destroying this guy. Alright, here we go. We missed the 84% shot, we missed the 80% shot, and we missed the 60-something% shot. The only cool part about this whole exercise is that the mutant effectively misses them as well. So these guys are now on alert, that's why they are running. They are looking where exactly this combat is happening. Luckily for us, we have a solid line of sight barrier in between us, so they can't really see us yet. Unluckily for us, we can't move Dragonova, which means as soon as we're going to move her, these guys will trigger, so we need to find out how we're going to deal with the situation. We could go all in for 20 hit points. That's 6 from our heavy gun. Let's calculate that. 6 from our heavy gun. On average 4 from this gun. We could try to slash for 7 and still 17. I mean, the hits would work. Can't really take a shot with her, to be honest, because that would immediately trigger these guys. Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks. The problem that I have with this hyper-aggressive play is we're almost out of ammunition. So by doing it, we would be out of ammo. But on the other hand, I also don't see a real alternative. So let's hope for some crits, please. That's maximum damage. It's not a crit, but it is something. Come on, execute. That's minimum damage, which is really not so good. I think we can't deal 10 points of damage. It's impossible from my perspective. Melee attacks in this specific case are not really a good idea, because mutants have the pesky ability to counter-strike, which is really suboptimal. Moving here would be not very good because we would eat a grenade. This here is currently also a setup for a grenade, so probably one of the few areas where we could move is here, but that's almost asking for additional trouble. Moving to here probably be better, but the shotgun will have a low chance of hitting. So let's take the safe route. It's basically moving over here, run and gun, and moving over here. Still flanking position, haven't pulled an enemy, and he's not using grenades. So we have him down to 3 HP, which I would love to eliminate, but that's not how it works. Instead we're going for Overwatch. Another melee attack. Come on. Ooh, third one in a row. For those of you who now wonder, they do have a 60% chance. And given that we have missed, I think, 3 or 4 80% shots, I'm actually quite fine with it. The statistical distribution is okay. So, that guy will die. I'm pretty sure. that we just have defeated the first pack. This mutant feels like an end boss in itself. There you go.
Target neutralized.
Nice. So good.
I go where I'm needed.
We're now going in. I'd love to use remote start more often.
Moving out.
Just putting ourselves in a very secure spot. One where we know that the enemy is not going to take a look at us. We're going to Overwatch for now. I think these tanks here the inner ones, but also these here can be exploded. I'm still trying to catch them off guard with a nice little remote start. Didn't work out so well. Interestingly enough, by the way, this part of the UFO completely is missing. Wow. Something or someone must have intensively damaged it. Good. We're slowly but surely moving up. 10 rounds means we can't really wait forever.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
Trying to figure out the best place for an Overwatch.
Orders confirmed. On the move. Affirmative. Covering now. Affirmative. Covering now. Come get some. Re-up and reload. My watch begins.
Alright, these guys want to protect the objective, which is fine, I can respect that. We could engage with a solid flashbang. But we're still too far away, so
Rolling.
we're overwatching,
I'll keep an eye on it.
and next turn we can engage by moving over. These guys will not really move, because the AI now wants to desperately protect the device, so they have positioned a pack on each entrance side. So this pack here is securing this side, this pack here is securing the other side, which is clever. I can see where that is coming from.
Moving to designated
We're moving into
coordinates.
position. Okay, so this guy has taken a lot of damage. Which means if we are going to hit him one more time, he could explode. And by doing that, he could damage both the mutant and the other trooper, because they would start to burn. Let's try to explode the purifier, shall we? Let's go, baby. There we go. That's exactly what I was talking about. 5 points of damage for both of them. Supreme. I really like it. Question that I'm asking myself, of course, is how do we feel about using a flashbang right now? I would feel very safe about that, to be honest. Matter of fact, I would really like to see that, because no more melee attacks, and we would probably kill this guy next turn. There we go. He hasn't caught any fire, so he's still capable of melee attacking, but with the disorientation debuff, he can't move far enough towards us or away from us. Matter of fact, he hasn't done anything, which is interesting. We're going to take the full cover. Come on, let's kill this guy.
Adjusting sight.
Zirchem gets the 8 protocol in case of him starting to run towards Zirchem and wanting to hit him with melee. There's the next damage. We have the high ground to our advantage. Still have enough turns left over.
I'll get him next time. Watching comes naturally. We've put the
So he's probably going to charge in. No, he's not. He's actually just standing there. Which, by the way, maybe we have broken his morale. He's taking the beating like a man.
I'm ready. Yeah, I didn't get it.
Let's reload and take the shot. Oh wow, he's down to 1 HP. Well,
I won't let them pass.
we still have turns left over. Like I said, I'm fine with waiting. Let's just make sure this guy is going to die.
On the move.
Taking a couple of 50-50s here. Zirchem could definitely kill him no matter what, due to his stock. And maybe that's what we're going to do, just make sure that we can kill him. Even if he wouldn't have hit him, he still would have killed him.
Silent copy. I am trusting you. I am on watch.
Okay, so we know, pretty much know, that these guys would be coming towards our direction. Question that I'm asking myself is, why wouldn't we start to greet them accordingly? So let's slowly move into cover. Move our way forward. Still have a couple of turns left over.
My turn on watch. On overwatch.
If they happen to run into us, yep, we even get a nice engage off of them. That's 6 bonus damage, completely for free. So we can remote start this for 10. Oh, this here for 10. Not bad, I like it. The only problem that I do have with that remote start. Now we take the remote start back here, because the remote start next to us would basically destroy the computer. And we still have time left over, so let's use the remote start back there. I think the position where we currently are is fine. 10 damage is nothing to sneeze at. So this guy is severely injured. By the way, we can do the hack from here. Wow, nice. Should have known that before. So over here we do have the option to get into full cover. We're shooting into full cover though. I mean, we do have a couple of flanking spots against him, but this guy effectively would explode. Zirkim could position himself here, which I think would be flanking, but it wouldn't be part of the explosion. The explosion would be just one circle around. I think it was not two circles. So that is, as far as I can see, that's the only place where he would have continuous cover for the next round, because this here is full cover and it stays full cover against this guy, and could still deal enough damage to kill the Purifier. Let's do that. I like an aggressive play. Zirkim runs and guns in. 100%. And leaves the guy with 1 HP. And leaves the guy with 1 effing HP. If we move here, we're going to take damage from the explosion. That would be flanking though. If we move here, we could be flanked from this side. So we probably would need to I mean, this here is most likely the better way of doing it. Just effectively sticking with the cover, 50-50. Nope.
Not even close.
Question that I'm asking myself is how much damage is the fire going to be? Probably not so much. At least not so much that we shouldn't try to kill this guy. So I was willing to take the fire. Luckily, he did not explode. And the enemy can only shoot into full cover, which is great. Really good for us. We're going to hack the workstation properly this time, just to get the distress beacon out of the way. And a large cache of intel with only a marginally lower chance. Let's go. Sometimes you need to be greedy. Nice. I think that's 60 intel, 40 or 60.
Piece of cake.
We've knocked out the alien distress signal. Looks like the skies are quiet.
There we go. Time for Dragonova to reveal her true self. She's like, haha, told you bitch, I was here the whole time. And kills this guy. There we go. One more guy down. Plus, I know who does not give a damn about Overwatch whatsoever. Zirkim Blade Masters this guy to death.
Nailed him. Status
And there we go. Flawless execution. It was a way more difficult mission than it looked. I mean, at the end, it was fine because the mutants kind of fucked it up. But there was a moment in time, if we would have pulled the second mutant pack, I can tell you we would probably not survive against them. And that's the strength of the Reaper, really, to control whom you're going to pull and when you're going to pull. The Reaper stayed in cover throughout the whole mission until we really needed her at the end. And look at that, we got a promotion. Revival protocol, because unconsciousness as well as any form of status effect is really relevant. So I like to have that. And look at it. 60 alloys, so that's twice as much as we can get from the black market. 20 Elerium crystals, that's huge. That early in the game, it's huge. This year would allow us to research psionics or the largest armor. 140 supplies, always nice. 40 intel, like I said, and a couple of corpses. The most noticeable, probably the mutant corpse, because it would give the grenade upgrade. I'm unsure whether or not I'm even allowed to use a grenade upgrade. I mean, we said ballistic weapons, and I suppose it also means no grenade upgrades. So, yeah. I mean, technically I could go for melee weapons and for improved grenades and somewhat get a decent damage out of it. The grenade update wouldn't be too bad, to be honest, because we could finally remove a lot of cover, and that's a big advantage of the mutant plasma grenades. So I'm still considering what my rules of this should be, because we have enabled grenade drop-off for specifically the reason that grenades still can remove cover, but they shouldn't deal damage. And maybe grenade upgrades will therefore be okay, but I'm going to use them for cover removal. So it's kind of alongside that logic. I'm not going to upgrade the melee weapon though. Avenger power, really good. The game realizes we need Avenger power. So that's a very, very good sign. Before we go for the Avenger power though, I want to take a quick look into our armory. I mean, this here still looks brutal, so maybe we can scan 2 or 3 more days to get everyone further down to a more reasonable level. Let's take the Templar start. So the next dark event, and keep in mind it's permanent dark events, is completed. Advent Return Fire. Missed shots on Advent officers and priests will trigger return fire. Well, that sucks. I mean, that really, really, really sucks. I don't know if that's just a sidearm for them or if they take their normal gun, but it means we better make damn sure that we're going to hit them.
Commander, the aliens are still moving forward on the Avatar project. Taking out that facility would deal a serious blow to their efforts. I suppose that works.
So we got another bit of intel. We do have Roby here with an increase in aim. That is super helpful. And what is our next mission going to be? I mean, the Form Soldiers Bond is really helpful. I'd like to have the additional Reaper upgrades, because the Reapers are the ones with additional contacts, and currently our main issue is we only have 3 contacts and we need more contacts to expand and get to the next facilities. We could upgrade this, to be honest, and get another what's it called? Well, one of the bonus slots. So that would be helpful. Plus, we would know where the stronghold is. My issue with it is we're still having a moderate wounding chance, so probably not optimal. This year is more like it. I mean, we had an issue that Roby and Zirkim never really managed to work together properly. Roby would get +5 hacking, which is nice for his protocols, and Zirkim would help him, and the two of them during the next 8 days would effectively bond towards the next level. Since they do have probably by far the lowest cohesion, I think 1.1 or 1.2, and 1.0 is the absolute lowest minimum. They just don't like each other. They hate their guts. So having that soldier bond will be helpful because we're going to use them often, and the transfer of abilities from one character to another is extremely helpful, specifically onto assaults, who can then shotgun or attack again. I would want to make contact, but unfortunately that's not going to work out. We could build faster. That would be an option. We could start to build something here in 3 days. You know what? Let's build faster so that we can start using the free slot even more efficiently.
Avenger plotting new course.
The energy is nice. Avenger energy is always a welcome option. Yeah, we can't train anyone else. That was the last rookie who became a squaddy. So until the end of the month, which is 2 more days, I'd work on this here. The Avenger power is 8 days. You know what? We're going for the Avenger power, because that will help us to with a single energy reactor to withstand a longer time. I'm concerned about the Avatar project and its progress. We definitely need to figure this shit out, and we will need to have an option to reduce this here. We have one option, which is the Advent black site right there. And that's pretty much it. So we got ourselves a lot of monthly supplies, which is nice. You can also see that we did a pretty solid job this month. And now our chosen can summon Advent priests. Oh gosh, that's going to hurt. The Advent priests do have the ability to use stasis, and they have return fire, which means we can't even focus them down. Plus they do have sustenance.
Your plans are no longer as unpredictable as you may have thought. The risks are ever increasing.
Okay, XCOM soldiers will suffer great losses to their will in combat. That would suck, but I'm willing to take it. This here, however, is something which we definitely need to prevent. Advent incorporates Viper poison into their weapons, giving Advent soldiers poisonous rounds. That would mean we're permanently fighting against poisonous rounds, and that is a real bummer, because as soon as we're being hit, we're getting the poison debuff. So we do have a couple of these advantages here, resistance orders, but we don't have the one that's giving us plus additional contracts, and we will probably need that in order to expand. So that is the next building which we're going to build, a resistance network, because we haven't received any anything so far. With a correct resistance order, we would have been fine. We wait one more day, and then we're going to start the resistance network. There we go. View facility. Resistance comms. There we go.
Commander, we've pushed our current power systems to the limit. We don't have any capacity to spare.
13 days,
Expand our facilities
which
further.
should give us three additional slots. And once we upgrade it, we have even more power. Our power is again fully used, so this could be upgraded. We can place an engineer here as well. There is a power coil, by the way, so once we free this up, that's going to be the second generator. And we're now getting Avenger power. So it's even more important to finish this Avenger power here.
Although we have allies scattered in cities throughout the globe,
Ooh, gosh,
share their
that's a
knowledge
difficult
of
one.
defense operations.
Dr. Finn Jacobson.
Aliens are
We rescue a VIP, which means we could lose our whole team for not getting out of there fast enough.
good luck.
Well, that's something we got to worry during the next month. We're now in month number 5, so it's most likely that this campaign is coming to an end rather rapidly, because I don't know how we're going to survive that, quite frankly. But let's have some fun and see how far we can take it. So, see you in the next mission, guys.